today on Divorce Court.
I'm here at divorce court because my boyfriend Daniel has been cheating and lying.
When me and Sarah first got together, we spent a lot of time together, and now we hide things from each other.
Daniel always is talking to other women online. I catch him talking to them, texting them, and he tries to delete everything. He thinks I'm overreacting about it, and I'm not.
I want the judge to tell Sarah to calm down and get back on track.
I asked if he wanted to have an open relationship or just be friends and live together or live separate, and he says no, he just wants to be with me, but his actions just don't show it.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Sarah Yost and Daniel Weichert. The two of you have been together for 5 years. You're both 24 years old. You're trying to keep it together. And you've come here for my assistance. Mr. Weichert, I understand that you just had an accident a couple of weeks ago. So you broke your front teeth.
Yes.
So I just wanted, he may have a little difficulty talking. So I want you to know that I know that you had that issue. So, Ms. Yost, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your background and why we're here in divorce court today?
Well, we're here, Your Honor, because Daniel has a lying and cheating problem.
Uh-huh.
For example, he, whenever we first met, he was at a restaurant with his family, and he was flirting with the server, and he left his number.
When you first met?
Yeah, it was around when we first met.
Uh-huh.
And he left his number on the receipt, and they ended up talking for about a month and a half, and I ended up finding her number in his phone, and I contacted her. He lied and said it's his friend, and nothing's going on, but I talked to her and found out that they have been talking. She had no idea about me. We were living together.
You were living together?
Yeah.
But you said it was when you first met.
Well, we talked for 7 months before we got together. Because I wanted to make sure I was trying to make sure I trusted him first before we, moved in with each other after 7 months.
Don't move in with dudes. I don't know how many times I can say it. Don't do it. But anyway, go ahead. You did it. and you caught him with the waitress's number, this, that, and the other. Now, why wasn't that a moment to say, see you later?
Well, because he said he didn't physically cheat. He was just talking to her, and his dad passed away around the same time. So I kind of gave him a little break there.
Did that kind of behavior continue?
Yeah. Yes.
Give me the next time you ran into a similar circumstance.
Okay. Well, we were working together at a restaurant, and he has a good personality, so he talks to a lot of people. He talks to everybody. He kind of flirts with girls, and that's fine. It's just flirting. But there's a girl that I didn't particularly get along with at work, and he always talked to her, and that's fine. He was just talking to her. Well, they thought I was not around, and they thought I was in the dining room serving, and I walked back and I saw him grab her butt. And he said it was a joke. They were just playing around. It was nothing serious,
Mr. Weichert.
This is true.
Do you care to respond? Did those things actually occur?
They did, Your Honor.
If you're in a committed relationship with a woman with whom you are living, why would you engage in that kind of thing?
To be honest, she did the same thing. Whenever we broke up for a very brief period, this is when this happened.
Whenever we broke up for a very brief period,
yes.
How often have you broken up?
Twice in the 5 years. And they were both short periods of time.
What would you break up over?
His cheating.
Mostly, yes.
So again, I ask, if you're in a committed relationship with a woman, she's beautiful, why continue to engage in that behavior?
It was wrong. I can admit that.
I wasn't looking for a judgment call. I'm asking why.
I don't have an answer, Your Honor. I didn't physically cheat on her. She actually had gotten pregnant by another man while we were together. And
you skipped that part.
Yeah.
Well, we were broken up.
You were living with this cat. You broke up with him for a week and promptly went out and got pregnant by some other dude.
Yeah, I mean, I told him about it as soon as I found out I was pregnant. I said, I don't know, there's a possibility.
Yeah,
but
no, you're missing my point
Yeah.
entirely. Entirely. You just got with another dude, couldn't have known him that well. You've been with this dude. And
No,
you have
he was an ex.
Huh? He was an ex.
Yeah.
And you had unprotected sex with an ex on the break and got pregnant. Okay.
I don't mean to cut you off, Your Honor. I found out about this on my way to my first day of employment with a new company.
How did you respond? Did it take some time? Did you break up for a little bit? How did?
I went to work. I mean, I basically had to try to not think about it, to try and focus on my employment. And when I got home, we discussed about it, and we didn't break up.
How was he about it? Was he cool? I mean, because he seems cool in here today, or was it a rocky period?
Upset. He was upset about it, but I think he kind of let it go because we were technically broken up, and he has messed up in the past.
Yeah, it was just a oops.
And we were kind of we were not mad about it. I mean, we were happy that we were possibly having a child.
Really?
I was. I mean.
Okay. I also understand that in addition to his flirtations and your excursion, there is problem with finances. I think Mr. Weichert thinks you're a spendthrift, and you say it's your money. So we're going to talk about that and see if we can come to some kind of resolution. Were you concerned about how you were going to pay the rent having lost the rent money?
Not really, Your Honor, because...
How do people manage this? What are you taking? I want to know. Mr. Weichert, you say Ms. Yost spends too much money. Tell me about that.
She has a business of her own, and she has to go out and purchase inventory for it. And some days, first of all, I don't know how much she makes from it. She gives me very brief...
vague idea of what's happening.
Correct, yes. And she can tell me that she's going to spend $30, and she comes home and I find a receipt for $300.
Ms. Yost, what is your response to that? I mean, I make my own money, and yes, I have a business, so to run my business, I have to have inventory. Right. And yeah, some days I go out and I only find $30 in things. Some days I find $300 in things. Sometimes I buy myself some things. I don't lie. I try not to lie about it. I don't lie about it. He doesn't really ask me about it. He doesn't really ask me about it, so I mean.
Do you both pay bills in the household?
Yes.
Is it like even Steven down the middle, or who's primarily responsible for the bills?
He pays the rent. Like, because that's our biggest bill, I think, you know, at the same time. Right. But I mean, I pay for like activities and like the cable bill and things like
utilities
that.
And stuff like that. Stuff like that. Does she ever come light with her part of the monthly bills?
Yes, things do get set back because she will tell me that things are paid for. Like, for instance, one time I had given her $30 to go pay the cell phone bill. And a week later, my cell phone's off.
Do you not take care of the financial business before you spend money on stuff you want?
I ended up having the money. I really put things off. I do put things off. I do pay things. I put things off. So I will tell him that I have it done just so he doesn't stress out about it. I'll be like, yeah, I have it paid. And then I'll really do it at the last minute usually. But I mean, it gets paid. It does get paid.
You say he spent the rent money on some nonsense. Is that true? Tell me about that.
Okay. Our rent, he gets paid about $800 a week, and our rent is $600 a month. So the first week after rent's due, the landlord calls me, you know, where's your rent money? I didn't get it yet, you know. And I asked Dan, what did you pay rent? And oh no, I said, well, you told me you paid rent. Yeah, well, whenever I went to the casino, I spent a little bit more than I should. I said, well, how much do you have left out of the $800? $150. $150.
Mr. Weichert, did that occur?
Yes, it did, Your Honor.
Were you concerned about how you were going to pay the rent having lost the rent money?
Not really, Your Honor,
How
because
do people manage this? What are you taking? I want to know. I mean, I make good money, and I worry, and I plan, and I save. Y'all just blatant with it, and you're fine. I mean, you're almost comatose out there. What's up? What's up? You weren't worried?
I was stressed out about it, yes. But the following Friday, I knew that it would get paid. And I was getting
So
paid
you
that
thought
Friday.
I was only going to be a week behind no matter what?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Do you think you have a gambling problem?
No.
You thought about that for a minute before you said no. How often do you gamble?
About once a month.
I don't know. Whatever it is y'all doing, you should tell me. Because I want to know. I want to turn our attention now to the fights that you have, what you fight about, and how the fights turn ugly.
And I come home, sure enough, there's somebody there, and it is
Did
the
you
girl
have
that I was
people over
talking
when he
to.
was trying to mourn?
His girlfriend? Yeah, his other girlfriend.
Oh, I
That's
see what
who
you're
she was.
saying. I got lost in the story. My bad. Ms. Yost, you say Mr. Weichert likes to pick fights and that he throws tantrums. Tell me about that.
Yes, Your Honor. Dan gets crazy sometimes. When we first moved into our first apartment, it was a new area. Neither of us have ever lived there before. We went down the street to get some food at a bar, and we met another couple. And we were talking to this couple for a while. We talked to them all night. He said he doesn't feel good, he's leaving. I mean, this was after, 3 hours at this bar. He said, I'm going out to the car, I don't feel good, I'm leaving. He goes out to the car. I said, okay, I'll be right out. I must have taken too long and he left. So I had to wait for the other couple to drive me home. So I waited for them to drive me home. We ended up staying for about another hour.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Well, let me get to the fight.
Okay, so whenever I get home, because I was gone too long, I guess, I open up the door. I couldn't even get up my steps because they were covered in all my clothes, shoes, all of the stuff in the house. I had to crawl up the steps to get up the steps.
Did you throw all her stuff out because she stayed too late at the bar?
Yes.
And what was the reasoning behind that?
Because she was very intoxicated and I was ready to go home. I was not feeling good. She was very inconsiderate of this and flirtatious with other men at the bar. Guys were buying her drinks and she was very receptive of that.
She was drunk and unruly. And you got tired of it and you went home and threw all of her stuff out.
In a nutshell, yes.
Yeah, okay. Is this an unusual event, Ms. Yost, or does he have an ongoing temper problem that you have to contend with?
No, I mean, he throws my stuff out a lot, but I mean, usually but it's when he does wrong. Like whenever I caught him cheating with a girl before, I mean,
He threw your stuff out when you caught him cheating with another girl?
Yes, I caught him cheating, talking to another girl. I invited her over to confront him because he denied it. So I invited her over. He came home, we were both standing in the driveway to confront him about it. And he just turned around and left because he knew he was caught. He couldn't get away with it.
That's
he was
not
caught.
why, Your Honor.
I'm gonna get to you.
And he was just mad that she was there. So he called me and said, you have to leave, you're not allowed to be there. So I left. I came back the next day to get my stuff. It was all in the snow, Everything was in the snow.
Mr. Weichert, did that occur?
Yes, it did. And
Tell me why.
Because this occurred at my family member's house. And that family member had deceased maybe 3 days beforehand. And I told her, we had already been fighting about this, don't have anybody here because I was going to another family member's house for the wake.
And the funeral and all of that. Yeah.
Correct, yes. And I come home, sure enough, there's somebody there, and it is
Did
the
you
girl
have
that I was
people over
talking
when he
to.
was trying to mourn?
His girlfriend? Yeah, his other girlfriend.
Oh, I
That's
see what
who
you're
she
saying.
was.
I got lost in the story. My bad.
That's who she is, yes.
So, were you seeing this other lady that she
Seeing,
brought
no.
over with you?
Seeing, no.
Flirting around with?
Texting, yes.
Yeah, texting. Yeah. So that wasn't why you were upset. You weren't upset because it was a death situation. You were upset because you got caught.
No.
So in my paperwork, this is to keep us together. Okay? And I'm going to ask you to take a moment and determine, is that really what you want to do? Joe and I over here about to have a stroke. He just asked me, you know, we did a little sidebar, and he says, did you ever throw any of your boyfriend's stuff out of stress? Never did. He said, me either. I want to say something intelligent, but I can't think of nothing. What are your plans, Ms. Yost? When you're 50, where do you want to be? What you want to do?
I want to be successful. I want to have a family.
Do you want to keep chasing your underwear down the street?
No.
Do you want to run into women that your man's flirting with on the daily?
No.
I've chased my things down the road, too.
Yeah, I'm about to ask you a series of questions myself. Do you want to continue to be with a woman you know will, like, have break babies on you? No. Do you want to continue to be angry about all the stuff that's going on? Do you want to be able to date different women and not be in a committed relationship just to see what's out there?
I give him that option.
No.
Why not?
I would rather be in a committed relationship.
And date around?
No.
Here's what I got to say, and then I'm just going to go. I don't understand what the rush is to move in with somebody. At 19 years old, you should be out and about and on your own and getting your business together. Why would you want to contain a relationship that already is herky-jerky and messy from Jump Street? You know, you can always, you know, do better. And I don't mean do better than him or do better than her, but do better than nonstop mess. Why would, you know, the minute a man did a thing wrong, bye. You know, I remember 6 o'clock, he's supposed to pick me up. 6:15. He found out I broke up with him 10 minutes earlier. That's the way it rolled. You respected me. You did, because I ain't got time. I'm not gonna get used to you. I ain't gonna adjust to you. I ain't gonna do none of that. All I'm gonna do is enjoy myself. I enjoy you. You can stay around it. Minute you cause me trouble, pow, out the door. I don't know why couples these days find somebody at 16 and think they're still supposed to be with them when they're 60. Odds are that ain't it. The woman that I was at 19, and I don't even really claim womanhood at 19, you know, that chick was crazy. Any man that she would have picked wouldn't have been a man that this woman would have wanted. You know what I'm saying? Stay free, stay loose, keep love at a distance. You know, don't have no babies, protection, birth control, freedom, vision, breadth, depth. Pick up a book, something. This matter is adjourned.
Our relationship is worth saving despite all the problems because I just love him and he's my best friend and he's been there for me for 5 years now.
I like being in a relationship, but I'm not 100% positive that she is 100% compatible for me.